Well, what a beautiful day. Here we are down at Anderson's Inlet to show you around in this 645 Game King. Jump on board and we'll show you through a few of the features. When you have a closer look at the extreme range of boats, you'll start to see the finer detail. Bow rails, grab rails, bollards. Deck mounted rod holders are CNC cut and have alloy bases that are fully welded. It shows that quality is absolute paramount right through the extreme boat. Right through to the alloy bung bases, which again, CNC cut and fully welded, which eliminates the deterioration of add-ons over time. One of the great things with Extreme is fuel fillers on the rear transom. Practically located, you can fill it from either side wherever the pump is. Yep. I don't have to point out the obvious. Extreme's ladders, sturdy alloy design, aluminium brackets, flares on the steps to limit slippage, they speak for themselves. When you have a boat parked on a trailer, it's easy to see that not all chines are created equally. Some you can find are a welded on afterthought, which try and aid spray deflection. When you have a look at an Extreme, it's easy to see that it's an integral part of the design. Spray deflection comes up, down and away from the boat. How the downturn runs all the way to the transom, aiding stability. Obviously the first thing you notice when you come into the Wheelhouse is space. Then you start seeing some of the finer details. Extreme have a double skinned wheelhouse which enables side pockets to be added. Side pockets are edge trimmed and fully lined. Windows are important, so is ventilation. Sliding windows give the opportunity to regain that airflow. Functionality is super important when operating a boat. You need items at your fingertips. Extreme have got their radios mounted overhead for easy use. So often you'll get behind the helm of a boat and radios have been mounted as such an afterthought in some pretty impractical places where you think, how am I going to use that? You can see the design of the dash has been focused around actually operating the boat. Sounders clearly visible from a driving position. Individual gauge fascia for your engine controls. You've got trim tabs, anchor winch, switch panels, all at your ready. Right through to a clever sturdy moulded footrest, which you just don't see in the other conventional plate boats on the market today. We constantly talk about the finer details when we look through the Extreme range. The cantilevered seating is a great example of that. It enables you to stow bags, eskies out of the way, keeping your floor uncluttered. Hatches in an Extreme boat are a great example again of quality. We've got concealed hinges and bracing throughout. How many times you've been in a boat where you've stubbed your toe on a hinge that's protruding through the floor? Absolutely nothing's an afterthought on an Extreme boat. A great example of that's the glove box. Moulded aluminium, again concealed hinges, fully lined, lots of space. It's obvious that basically every plate boat on the market incorporates a walk-through transom into their design. Again, an example of Extreme raising the bar with the way they do things is the way they stow their door away. These simple features are seen throughout, practical and simple, still got access into your bait tank. We've all struggled to get a battery in and out of a boat before over the years. Extreme solved that problem, large hatches enabling easy access. Also to our battery switch, fuel filter, our deck pumps all cleverly mounted, out of the weather and out of the way, keeping our floor uncluttered, again out of the weather. Sometimes simple features just work so well. Extreme's bait board, it's simple, but it works. You've got knife holders on either side, you've got edges, everything drains off externally out of the boat. The board flips across. At the end of the day, when you're cleaning your fish, you get a nice area that you can fillet your fillets on. After spending a bit of time behind the wheel, you really start to understand how the design of the Extreme works. We focus on a wide beam at the waterline, not only giving us stability and floor space, but carrying through to give us the broad shoulders in the wheelhouse. Accompanied with clear screens gives us uncompromised view, which is super important when navigating. I'm just going to keep harping on about this visibility because I honestly don't think you can improve on it. I mean, whether I'm standing or sitting, I've got an uncompromised clear view through all the screens. I don't know how many times you get behind the wheel of a boat and you just can't see over the dash. Compared to the conventional plate boat, it's clear to see how much more space you have in the wheelhouse of the Extreme. Not only talking about width, but length. You can come out right past midships to basically your fishing position and still have overhead protection. And again, Extreme's clever designs, their overhead bimini retracts easily to gain access to your robs as well. I wanted to talk to you guys about beam. On a spec sheet, your beam's measured from the gunnel from side to side, where the important beam measurement is actually at the waterline. Extreme are quite broad, which is where you get your stability from. If people transition from side to side, it's important that the boat doesn't dip. We've had a good look today at how the combination of a lot of small features and a lot of bigger features make the Extreme such a functional boat to fish in and to use. But when we talk about on-water performance, with Extreme 645, you've got the broadness of the waterline beam, a downturn chine, and a dead rise right on that 21-degree mark. The combination of all these features is what gives it the rough water performance, the dry ride, and a super stable platform to fish out of. If you're in a scenario in a trailing sea where you need to come down the front of a wave, the broadness of the beam with that downturn chine keeps the bow up nice and proud and doesn't dig in like a conventional design will. Thanks for taking the time to have a look through Extreme 645 Game King today. We've had a look at some of the bigger main features such as the wheelhouse, right through to a few of the finer points with the alloy bung bases and plug welded rod holders. I think when you look at all features, big and small, it's pretty easy to see why Extreme are a level ahead and a step above the conventional plate boat that's on the market today.